Starting this off a little differently, I would like to recommend this Kickstarter. I'm going to put the link up. Let me grab the link. And we'll post this here up in a second. But this is a Kickstarter for Delver 11 and 12, old school role-playing game resources for GMs and players. Let me close my malware bytes here. And I'm kind of part of this. I did some of the art for it, so by no means all of the art. Like I didn't do these two covers, but I'm doing a cover, and this is for two old school. I think it's old school essentials zines. So check it out. James Floyd Kelly is the actual guy running this, but I did some of the art for it. Anyways, okay, there we go. So I've switched over. Hopefully this is recording now. I'll switch back to the comic page, so you got the kind of the overhead cam. I was just on my way home from work, and Bob Dylan's Hell Time came up on my MP3 player in the car. And it's a great song, and it really applies to today. To the current political situation. I know that song came out in like the 80s. Not a lot of people remember it. It was like done for a movie soundtrack. In fact, it's really hard to get a version of it without buying the movie soundtrack, which you may not want. For I think it was Band of the Hand. And that's too bad, because the lyrics are fire. It has one part where it goes, witchcraft scum exploiting the dumb, turning children into punks and slaves. The heroes and healers are rich dope dealers who ought to be put in their graves. Did Bob Dylan travel to the future? Here's another line where he says, out in the street the fools rule, and there's no freedom or self-respect. A knife's point or a trip to the joint is about all that you can expect. Man. So I'm thinking of just leaving. I mean, I could do scales like this. Look at this. So I could do these scales over the entire body of this creature. And there's two reasons why I don't think I will. First of all, I mean, I'm still in the design. Like, when I created this creature, I just sort of, I faked up a quick design for him. So there's no set in stone design going on here. The creature is, after all, a shape changer. I could even shape change him in the next panel if I want to. But I think it would take it away if I like this shoulder, like having it up here on the shoulders and then not having it down below. Makes them look interesting. And then also it would be a lot of work. So you could chalk this up to laziness on my part. I don't know if it's really laziness. I'm thinking it might actually be a good design decision not to do that. I'm certainly looking at if I take a page out of the Jack Kirby handbook for how to draw sort of dinosaurs, he always used these big squiggles, big ink squiggles on the dinosaur flesh. Like if you look at Devil Dinosaur or oh, what's going on? Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better if I do it that way. And some of that might be attributable to Mike Royer, I guess, who was the inker on that. I consider Mike Royer to be Kirby's best inker. I know that there are some other favorites, including one I'm extremely biased towards, which is Ditko. Ditko is Kirby's inker and was really good. And I love Ditko, but I'm not sure that he captured it as good as Royer did. Even and a lot of people disagree. Like even Dave Stevens, the guy who did the Rocketeer, he would say, "Oh, Jack would have liked it if you went over his drawing and changed it up with, more details in the inking. And I don't believe that's actually true at all. Shout out to, and rest in peace, Dave Stevens. But I don't believe him at all on that. And also Theakston. Theakston was a good inker for Kirby as well. I would say he was a utility guy, He didn't do anything special. And you could say that Royer didn't do anything special, but what Royer did was what he was asked to do, which is to follow exactly what was drawn. And, you hear, it's kind of funny because I've taken a bunch of classes. In fact, I'm taking one tonight. I'm in an inking class. And the inkers will often say, oh, yeah, you got to put your mark on things because, at the end of the day, when the finished piece is made available for print, there's no pencil that's left on there. What you see is inking, right? And that's what you contribute to it. You're not just tracing, you're inking, you're clarifying, you're embellishing, you're doing all these things. Now, the exact same teacher and other teachers that I've had at Keyword School um, would say, when I draw things, when you talk about penciling, when I draw things, I like to do finished pencils so that the inker doesn't do anything, doesn't have to fill anything in. I want them to look exactly like how I drew it, which would seem to be two conflicting ideas, right? It would seem to be. I think in both cases, we're talking about ego, right? To a degree. But that's how artists are, I guess. Not all artists. Royer always appeared very humble. I think he was, and he was Kirby's favored inker throughout his career. So it seems likely that he was very humble. I don't know. If I put these big plates on the back, it's like kind of like Godzilla, right? And there's only a couple that came out weird, and it's this one and this one. And this one I think I can salvage by making it shorter, right? And this one, this line should be thin because this is on the top of the creature. And the creature naturally gathers shadows at the bottom, right? So we're getting somewhere. You notice there's a missing spot right here, but this is where the heroes, after the transforming, shape-shifting of Hondo, the heroes are down below. They're like, oh no, what happened? So once again, I did it wrong. I made the top line the heavy one. It shouldn't be. It could be heavy down here, like over in this area under the knee. And then I've also got to watch out because I've almost completely co-located Stardust's arm with the contour of the monster's foot. So let's go ahead and move Stardust off to the side a little bit. Something like that. You don't want it to be confusing to the reader at all. You don't have to impress the reader. You just have to keep the reader engaged. So don't lose your mind on the drawing stuff. I'm wondering if, I love these scales that I have up here. What if I did the scales also right here? It seems like it kind of works, right? And then I'm going to do some long flat scales. Am I in the right area? Maybe I should really do it like this. Like each one of these scales would be big enough to be a shield for a human below. That's how big this guy is. He's big. He is, let's see, let's say Stardust is 2 meters tall. This creature would be, and keep in mind it's kind of squatted over. 4, 5, maybe 10 meters tall. Oops. Out on the streets, the fools rule, and there's no freedom or self-respect. Knife's point or their trip to the joint is about all that you can expect. What's the other lyric? There's some really good ones in that song. There's few people here that stand up for their rights because the system's just too damn corrupt. It's always the same. The name of the game is who do you know higher up? Wow, right? Dylan, man. The Groovy Ghoulies did a cover of it. They liked it so much, and it's, to me, that's the most surprising thing, is because it's such an obscure song and it's only available on certain records, a movie soundtrack. And I think they even changed the lyrics on the movie soundtrack from "It's Hell Time, Man" as the chorus. They changed it to say "Band of the Hand" because that's the name of the movie. But I guess it would be harder to say "It's Hell Time, Man" as the chorus over and over again on MTV or wherever they were going to play it. Certainly not on the radio. The band for Dylan at this time was the band known as the Plugs that were in the LA punk scene at the time. He had those guys. I think it's the Plugs. All right. There's a lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. And then we have this sort of magical cloud kind of thing, because he comes out of it. Here's the edge of the monument. I think we're going to do this in black and just foreground it up. An easy eraser. Whoops. How about this? And then I have something like that. I like the use of these There's another monument in Brillig, which is the monument of the Bandersnatch. The Frumious Bandersnatch. If you look at Brillig, let me find Brillig. Just show you real quick. Where are you at, Brillig? Oh, it's right here. So there's a scene in Brillig where they go visit the Bandersnatch, and it's the monument over here. Whosoever defendeth yon head shall suffer the wrath of the Bandersnatch, and it's this hobgoblin thing. Behold, Brillig, the enchanted weapon of our former champion. Of course, it's cursed, so and he's like, don't care. Hero. All right. Anyways, I just like that as a concept. I thought it was funny. Oh, I can show you some of the things I'm going to be doing for this Kickstarter. Now, a couple of things that I've done already is for the Runes zine, which is different than the Delver zine. Um, is this the right one? I'm not sure it is. Hang on. It might be the right one, but it might not be. This one. This is the character sheet that I designed. This is just the front page. There's a back page too. And I'm working on a new one, and which is going to be on like a 6x9 card. And you can see it's going to have this dragon that's on the top that goes sweeping around. And there's a couple of things that I got to redo. Like I need to somehow put in here the shield is supposed to be your character's heraldry if you want to play, like, you know, draw your shield or whatever. And then this is over here is like a little portrait window that you could have. And I was going to put like little gems in here, like something like that, you know, or you'd have where it looks like it's kind of integrated with some kind of jeweled interface. And I've still got to decorate the whole character sheet, but that's kind of the thing that I'm doing for it. It's been a lot of fun actually, and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, now when we have a panel like this, I can just tell you to create depth, we've got to put stuff in the foreground, big stuff. And it becomes like, this is like the test of your will, whether you're willing to throw something right in front of everything you just did. All right, so, which I just did. The other thing is, the closer it is, the darker it should be. So we can probably black this whole thing out, whatever we just put in here. It's supposed to be, maybe it's a tree branch or some scrub. There's a rock, you know. Maybe it's a tree trunk. Out on the streets, the fools roam. All right, now you start to see the depth coming in. And also, we don't just have foreground and kind of background, because we're going to have background too. We got to get these figures also done. And that's where I got to get careful, I think. And with Stardust, the way I draw Stardust, he always has these this energy trail coming out of his eyes. That's too pointy for his ears. But he is really buff, so he's a big guy. That's why he's a bully, right? Not only does he have superpowers, but he's also physically more intimidating. You know, he's a big dude. And he doesn't hesitate to kill, especially mortals. And he doesn't have to hesitate to kill immortals either, because he knows that they eventually reincarnate. Though that isn't really discussed in this. Of course, the gods always come back. All right, this is just a detail on the costume, so we got to be thin lines. The explosion and the, you know, this thing where the giant monster comes out is what cancels the trap that Stardust had the boys in. And so they're able to break free. And of course, whoops. There's the energy trail. You know you're you're all caught up in it when you do the sound effects while you're drawing. The Zorp, you know. Now we also got to keep in mind we don't have to do too many details because this is the print size right about here. So there's, you know, can you see every detail of the guy's face? No. So you want to be very simple when you're working at that size. You know, don't go crazy. I do kind of want to do like a solo adventure with just Stardust where we get to the point where we understand him as a character a little bit better. Oh, look, and I did the proportions wrong. All right, let's see what he looks like without the pencil. Now, all that said, we're initially impressed by the size of the creature. Stardust is, of course, still more powerful than this creature. This is a chimera, but Stardust is a titan, and titans are powerful. So we'll take the combined might of Prometheus, who's over here, and Abrax, and Hondo, the chimera, to have a hope of defeating him. I think I had the right instinct by making the legs bend the other way. Every once in a while, I'll try a different leg pose. Oh, no feet. I'm like Rob Liefeld. Ho ho. Rob Liefeld can draw feet. Don't be stupid. Trouble is, you want to do it. How do I do it? I think it's close. I think it's close. Something like that. And we're going to have to draw like, you know, grass and stuff. Plants. There's a backdrop of some forest. Some happy little trees, if you will. All right. We're not quite there. But please like, follow, and subscribe. And there will be more Prometheus powers, more comics every day, and I'm going to go prepare for my inking class and do all that other stuff that I got to do. All right. See you later.